The Wallabies fell at the last hurdle on the weekend against a very brave Irish side, losing by 4 points in the deciding test match. Now, it was a terrific series, Al. Lots to take for the Australian side, but marred by some pretty average decisions.
Yeah, it was. Look, it was a cracker of a series. Great setup for the final game, big grand final, and look, really close game. And unfortunately, it came down to, once again, like the Origin, to some refereeing decisions which really turned the match. And I'm usually not one for bagging the referee because I think it goes both ways usually. But look, I think he made some shockers on the weekend.
The Israel Folau sin binning. Like, have they changed that rule? Like,
so there's a lot more focus now on if there's any contact in the air where you're not going for the ball, then they'll just go straight.
Well, he was up there.
It looked absolutely legit, apart from there's one tiny moment where you just touch it. And look, some referees, and certainly in the past, have said, no, that's sweet, play on. And certainly every single shot of the camera before and after is easy going for the ball. But that was enough to go for it. And look, that's a tough call. I think the referees around the world have been so hard on that contact in the air.
Is it player safety?
Yeah, it is player safety, and so that's looking at. Look, for me, I was more filthy about other decisions. There was a couple forward passes not picked up, other forward passes that were picked up, and then the Tolo Latu one, which shouldn't have been a penalty, which was a game-changing turnover.
Yeah, both packs were going hard. They were spreading the ball. It was a really good-looking game. Yeah. And then the refs just keep it jumping and penalising.
Well, Tom, you've never been that shy of bagging a ref in your time, both on the field and off it. What do you think? Were any of those decisions fair, or was that French bloke just...
I just think, what Al touched upon, it's probably marred a really good series. Australian rugby's on the rise. I think a sellout crowd, everyone was buzzing about how good the Wallabies played, the Irish line speed in defence, the contest at the breakdown, as Willie's touched upon. And, for the first time in a long time, and a Wallaby forward pack really stood up. Yeah. Lucan Tui, Tolu Latu, Tongan Thor, when he came on. David Pocock was obviously unbelievable when Hooper went off. And we're sitting here talking about a guy that didn't even want to go into the press conference after the game and be accountable for decisions that he made. Now, I appreciate that it's a big game. He's probably nervous. But those decisions, even the scrum, when Australia had a dominant scrum with Robinson, Latu and Tupou, and he's telling, the Irish had collapsed, but he's saying, play the ball, use the ball. Well, clearly that infringed. And it should have been a penalty to Australia. Hodge can kick that goal and we win the game. I don't know what's going through their mind in those big moments.
The funny thing, I think, so Australia finally work out that both through the Waratahs and the Wallabies that, well, Israel Folau is actually probably the best bloke in the air in the whole world. So we're going to introduce kick as an attack. And the Irish, to their full credit, decided that they would then use one man to lift. And that basically changed that whole... I mean, to the letter of the law, what Folau did was probably a sin binning.
So if there's two guys helping him up and Izzy does that, that's no penalty, is it?
If he's going up in the air by himself, I don't think they give that. But because the bloke's so high in the air and he fell...
Because he's being lifted. And this is a really controversial one. So this is the prop that was lifting him, CJ Stander, South African heritage. This is a really South African move with the big props lifting, still big guys, but smaller guys up in the air to get the extra height so they don't have to jump. And that's where usually it's a lay down was there, no one can get to that height. But Izzy, because he's just a freak in the air, can actually get up there and...
Higher than a bloke
who's being lifted. But which comes into question then about, usually before it's just like when a bloke goes up, you wouldn't even bother. But now these guys are going up, they should start looking, I think there was some talk about this paper, start looking at whether that lifter is actually causing the issue. This is a single lifter, so it's inherently unstable, lifting a person in the air for an aerial contest. So if there's going to be any knock, the bloke who's being actually held up in the air is going to be a massive issue because there's no forward momentum like you do when two...
Like the very first kick-off, Izzy didn't try and catch it, he just hit it back. Do you reckon that would be probably more of a go now? Because he seemed to... Because he gets so high in the air, like he's getting above that guy. If he just taps it back and then...
Yeah, it's effectively like a sevens restart. I agree, but I think we want to encourage that. We want our kids to be practicing in the backyard to get the ball back, and I think it's like he's such an athletic guy, and his aerial skills are second to none, both I think in rugby league and rugby union.
I think it should be encouraged, and I think it is absolutely awesome what he's doing, and it's changing the game, certainly for the Australian team.
Making the game exciting.
That's right. And so I would hate to see having someone being lifted in the air to counter that the whole time is a negative. Look, we know if we can just get someone up in front who's inherently unstable, then if he does anything, he's going to get sent on a yellow card and Westwood.
Al, as a rugby administrator, is it more important to have fans turning up like they did and enjoying the spectacle, or is it more important that the IRB referees follow the letter of the law?
I think this is the inherent problem with rugby union, where, take the scrum, there's 28 different penalties you can give at the scrum time. 28. So there's no way you're actually going to be able to, if you actually policed every single run that won, there'd be a scrum penalty every single time you hold scrum. So yes, there is some point at which the referee's got to stand back and say, I've got to take into account the flow of the game, all the different factors about how this is going, and just step back and actually try not to be noticed. And unfortunately, the IRB does have a focus on, did you pick up that infringement? Did you pick up that infringement? So look, I think it's not even just to make it a good spectacle to watch. It's more for just to let the guys play the game. Because you know as well as anyone that, look, if the referees stop starting the game, it's so frustrating as a player, because you go, mate, all we want to do is play.
Ruins the game.
And I don't want to be on ref cam again, but and I think I've got a bit of French heritage, but the try at 14-all in the All Blacks French game that was allowed, when Mackenzie used the referee as a shepherd.
That is ridiculous.
Did you see that, Willie?
Is that a rule? It's just like...
Yeah.
How they didn't take that back.
Is there a rule where you can take that back and replay it?
Yes, he asked the TMO.
Yeah. And the TMO was obviously drunk.
TMO was he French as well?
He was.
He was French.
He was on the Vinos.
On the Vinos. I couldn't believe that. But watching that game, I watched the All Blacks, and I'm just like, it's just a well-oiled machine. Yeah. They just look unstoppable. All Blacks plays the Wallabies. Just say the All Blacks play the Wallabies in 2 weeks.
Yep.
How do we go after really competing?
I think we beat them.
Do you reckon we beat them?
Yeah, we do. But they moved Mackenzie. So Barrett was out injured with a head knock.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie
killed it.
He was electric at 5'8". So the 10, and you said it last week on the show, when a 10 carries the football, it opens up the space out wide. And even though Bernard's pass didn't go to hand in the last moment of the game, it was so exciting to see him carry the football again. And that's what Mackenzie did well for the All Blacks, I thought. And it changed the momentum of the game. Forward pods triggering out the back, and then Mackenzie using his footwork on the lateral French forwards.
The All Blacks play just a different brand of rugby. I mean, they got their locks and their flankers. They play like similar front rows in league, where they run that block play, and they get them other guys around the back, and it's sort of like a league play where they can get numbers.
But they've also got really good forwards who can offload the whole time.
Yeah, they tip.
Yeah.
Their skill level is a lot higher than any other nation.
Just going back quickly to, you mentioned Foley running the ball at that last play, and not to go back to referees again, but I was at the game.
Past that.
Yeah. No, we haven't, because I hate referees
Willie's been my therapist the evening. We've moved past that. I don't want to
bring it back, Tom.
Yeah, that's right.
I was
traumatised, Dan.
I was at the game, and other than the fact I can't wait for him to rip it down and start again because I couldn't get a beer or go to the toilet, I think Peter Fitzsimon's bandana. He hasn't been to the football, or his bandana's too tight. But honestly, that last play at the game, there's probably 4 or 5 minutes where they're checking the TMO. Everyone's sitting there, and then the ref just blows the whistle and it just stops. It was the biggest anticlimax to a game. Yeah. I mean, it was just woeful.
Willie touched upon it earlier about the margins and about the left edge of the Maroons when they had that Jonathan Thurston, and I felt like there was play in the Wallabies late in that game that was like a little bit better timing and a little bit more work, and they will be unbelievable. So I can see Beale to Foley to Folau, and we will slice up the All Blacks. I don't think the All Blacks have got a good midfield. I think Sonny Bill coming back from injury, Crotty.
He looks sharp with his offloads, Sonny.
He's amazing. I'm not questioning him, but I mean, who do they play outside of him? Do they play
Ben
Goodhue?
Smith, didn't they? Ben Smith
plays 15. They moved him back to fullback.
Okay.
So, and they've got Naholo on the wing, and then that Rico
They've
Iain.
got that. He's a freak.
He's unbelievable.
I mean, they're outside backs. So I'm not sure. I mean, but their forward pack, they worry me. The skill level on the forwards, and then obviously their back line is just they can score from anywhere.
Yeah, but I think in terms of the forwards, I think the Wallaby forwards had a fantastic game. This Irish pack is one of the best packs.
Scrummager, how did our pack go against
that was
Ireland?
one of the best scrummaging performances I've seen for years out of Wallaby pack. So it was absolutely awesome. And look, I think what's been a revelation is that the Pocock Hooper one, and I think that's what also hurt us on Saturday night, was that Hooper is such a link between the forwards and the backs. That actually, he's a man who actually does scoot
tips
out
a
from
lot.
the back of the right. Yeah, he tips. And so losing him actually shut down the back line for a little while. And if we get him back, he's both hard on the ball and Pocock is phenomenal around the ball.
he's
So I
a
think
beast, man.
with those two guys, then it's a red hot chance against a back row who are strong for the All Blacks, but they don't have that same sort of hard on the ball mentality that the Wallabies do.
Al, you play with the greats George Smith and Phil Waugh a lot. Have you ever seen a better bloke on the ball than Dave Pocock and more influential on a game?
It'd be hard. Look,
What about him versus Richie McCaw?
No, it'd be... Look, Richie McCaw he was a freak about being able to get away with so much. And he was awesome on the ball. I think, look, Pocock at the moment is just one of the hardest men in world rugby on the ball. He gets absolutely smacked. He's got great
Doesn't
time
move.
about getting in there. So,
From every angle, he just stands there. Like,
in short, I think he's the best I've ever seen on the ball.
Because if you bring back Vardy from who's played for Leinster, so with these Irish guys and won the Heineken Cup, and you have Pocock, and then you have Tolulatu, and you have Tongan Thor who could test. Australia will have the most dynamic forward pack in world rugby at contesting ball. They'll have a great set piece. The Irish scrum was meant to be the best in the world, and we dismantled them. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then you've got Lucan Tui, who was playing second grade in Brisbane, and he's come out and played 80 minutes in a test match and absolutely cut people in half.
And how good is that bloke that cut him in half in second grade furling this week? After that, did you see the footage of that? He got absolutely destroyed. That bloke, he's not buying.
I hope they played on
Logan
YouTube.
City.
I hope they played on YouTube because I got cut in half once and it's still on YouTube. People send me to tag me in it all the time. It's not funny.
Luke M2 is probably more popular than you, though.
Definitely.
They probably kept that way. I honestly think that Australia can beat the All Blacks, if not in the series.
in a series, or just a one-off test?
No, serious.
Definitely. Oh, look, I think they can win a series.
If Genia gets back, they definitely can.
That's, I think
Genia
that's
is the difference because the nine now is a passenger, so just get him out and then
You can't say that.
just get Genia in. Genia threatens the line, he runs the ball.
Do you think Andrew McCulloch was a passenger last night?
I didn't even know he played.
He wasn't even on the bus.
Didn't expect honesty.
He was. I mean, like, you got to try and replace legends like Will Genia, you got to replace legends like Cameron Smith. You're always going to be compared to them. So if you don't step up and just step into their role or at least play half as decent, you're going to get bagged by the media and me.
But no, I think it's big. I think Phibbs, I think he's a great player and awesome when he runs, but he just didn't run last night, and so he had a charging defensive line from Ireland, and they needed someone to be able to hold
And Joe
it up.
Powell was finding space and finding forward runners, punching
But that's
holes.
what I was saying. These
Yeah.
guys didn't look nowhere near as fit as, just say, if you look at the All Blacks and the South Africans and that. So there's room around the ruck. I was just like, when's this little guy going to run?
Yeah.
Like, there was space around. I don't know if he's scared or not. I don't know. He just doesn't want to run.
He can play. There's no question.
There's no doubt that he can play, but I'm just saying, why don't you run the ball?
Up a bit more.
But it's also that kind of thing where you have something goes wrong early, and this is the mark of where the All Blacks do it really well. They adapt, and I think we didn't adapt. The back line or the 9-10 didn't adapt fast enough. Like the back end of the game, I thought our back line was looking great.
Yeah, because they got used to the line speed of the Irish, because they were flying into field.
But I thought James Maloney said it beautifully. He said, if I make a mistake, who cares about it? And Willie, I haven't played with him, but he throws the ball for the first try at Okar, and then he puts the grubber in for the next try. There seems to be a disposition about world-class 5'8s that they genuinely, or playmakers, they don't care.
just don't care.
They don't care.
Mate, same guys playing with Andrew Johnson, Jonathan Thurston, they might make a massive mistake. You would know.
What's the quote you said Wayne Bennett used to say to you guys about you?
Just don't carry your divots. Don't. You'd never see a Wayne Bennett side. If you drop the ball, you'd never say, "Oh yeah, no worries. There's no next time. Oh, next time." Just get along with the next job.
Will people stop saying that rugby's dead in this country now?
Oh, absolutely. If we win the first Bledisloe, which I think we've got a really good chance.
We need to win that.
If we're
Carts, I think you're optimistic. I think we need to win the Bledisloe 3-0 for it
for us to
it
go,
to be
yes, we're back.
everyone go, yeah.
Why are
it's
you
sweet.
all doom and gloom? Let me be the negative guy. Do you reckon? I disagree.
Yeah.
Can we win 3-0 against the All Blacks?
If All Blacks go deep into Super Rugby
Yeah.
and we have an extended prep into Game 1, we are fitter. If you take out Game 1's first half last year, we should have beaten them in Dunedin, and then the third game we did beat them. If Checker has a long, elongated prep, now I hope the Waratahs win this week against the Rebels, and I hope we make the final. But if they don't, I'm telling you, the odds of us winning the Bledisloe go up.